Hello everyone, my name is Pratham Gaba and today I'm going to represent my assignment that I made on psychology. So let's begin. So first I just want to explain about the social psychology, that what social psychology is, because I'm going to cover that topic in my assignment. So social psychology means how the people generate their feelings and emotions from the behavior of real world, and the attitude of the people also depend upon these feelings, and people also think about their surroundings or people on the basis of what kind of social influence they are getting from the social environment, or how people treat them socially. Like if anyone use any kind of abusive words to the other people, then people have different kind of image for that person. And the topic and the field that I choose is social psychology, aggression. So as we all know that aggression is one of the behavior of the people, and it it generates due to different reasons. Some people are really very aggressive, while on the other hand, some people are just very calm in every situation. So aggression is one of the most important factor that is covered in social psychology. That means a person have the motive to hurt or harm the other individual, not only physically but also mentally by such using abusive words, or by taking some bad names for the other person. And in that case, we have different theories that relates to it. So these theories are instinct theory and the social learning theory. So I'm going to explain about the instinct theory first. Instinct theory means that there are several things or feelings that we get since our birth, like aggression, hunger, and sex, and these are all innate feelings, as everyone faces these feelings at a certain point of time or action. And we all know that aggression is one of the part of the human behavior. So this is included in that theory. And the other theory is social learning theory. This theory indicates that the individual learns or adopts everything from their social environment, as in what kind of environment an individual is living. Like if an individual is living in such kind of area in which there are a lot of gangsters, then there are chances that that particular individual might become gangster when they grow up. So this theory is about that how we learn or adopt the different things socially. So the topic that I choose is why some children are more aggressive and violent during sports in social psychology. So because for aggression there are certain different reasons. The first one is the social learning, as we all know that like if a person is living in a very aggressive social environment, then he or she may be more aggressive than any other individual who is living in a very calm or peace environment. And the other is competitive environment. That thing includes that some children always give priority to win that game instead of play that game in normal way. Like some people have some ego issues when they are playing a certain game, because they just want to always win that game. And moreover, this can also impact on the health of a child, because it can generate more stress for more stress to a child, and also let to more generate more negative feelings in that child. So the next thing is emotional problems. Some children are not able to cooperate with their emotions that make them more frustrated. As and as we all know that more frustration means more aggression. So because of that, they generate some pessimistic feeling in themselves that also leads to aggression. The other thing is family pressure. Like some parents of a certain family just want their child to win all the competitions, and they and for that they really behave very aggressive with their child, because they just want their child to be the best in all certain situations. So that thing is included in that point. The other thing is the physical involvement. Like sports include a lot of physical involvement for a child. Like if I talk about football or soccer, in that game a child really needs to run more, in which he needs a lot of stamina. But some children don't have enough power or stamina in themselves, which make them more aggressive while playing that game. And there are also several experimental and non-experimental researches that assist us to understand more of this case. So first I'm going to explain about some experimental research. What experimental research really is. Experimental researches are those researches in which the main motive of the experimenters is to find something new about a specific case or study, or favor and refuse any studies that are done before by any other experimenter. It also tells that how the dependent and independent variables correlate with each other. So now I'm going to talk about the non-experimental research. Non-experimental researches are not properly planned, and these researches are just a natural view of a case, and we can also conclude the researches that were done by previous authors or representatives in the non-experimental research that make it more inaccurate. If I talk about the non-experimental research are always more qualitative instead of more are always more quantitative instead of more qualitative. So here I'm going to talk about the research design that we need for doing experimented and non-experimented study. So the first we need a research question and in that case my research question is why some children are more aggressive or violent during sports. And the second we need hypothesis. Different assumptions have been generated after both experiments that led to provide the reasons and solutions for this concern. Like if we do any kind of research, then we basically formulate hypotheses or do our assumptions that what we really think about after doing that experiment. And the third thing we need is participants. In this study, participants are children that are being observed during experiment. The other thing is independent variable. Here the independent variable is children, and the dependent variable is aggression that is totally dependent upon the children. And the next thing is experimental conditions. Different children have been assembled from which some are good in sports and have best game skills while others are bad in sports or considered as lazy. So in that thing we divided two kind of children in different groups. I mean in the same group. Like some children are more aggressive while some are really very less aggressive. So we give a chance to play both of the groups with each other, and we just want to see or look at how non-aggressive children behave while they are playing with aggressive ones. And the other thing is random assignment. Children have been randomly assigned based on different levels of aggression level. So this is common. Next is procedures. Different games or sports have been played consisting of distinct level of challenges, which helps us to understand the different level of frustration of a child while playing the game. So the next thing is data collection. Date of dependent variable will be collected that is totally based upon independent variable. And the other thing is conclusion. After concluding all those factors, we will make a conclusion that relate the result or assumptions with each other and give the more accurate knowledge to the viewers who are viewing that research. So first I'm going to talk about the experimental study. So in that study, a research was done by Professor Ranvir Singh, who is a very prestigious professor of Chandigarh University, which is located in India, and he done his masters in psychology from Punjab University, that is also a well-known university of India. In that study, he used different experimental aspects that assist him to create hypotheses that evaluate the different factors that cause anger in children that are as follows. So first, he used laboratory experiments. In that method, he observed that the different level or amount of aggression behavior that the child is feeling at the time of facing different physical challenges, and he also observed that the child is becoming more aggressive as the child is getting more tired. Because when the child is getting more tired, he is becoming more frustrated, and more frustration always leads to more aggression. And the other thing he chooses field experiments. In that method, he evaluates how the children react when they are not able to do their best during sports that makes them frustrated and generates aggression at the same time. the other method he used is randomized control trials. In that, he put some aggressive children with some non-aggressive children in the same group, and he organized to play them in the same group, and he also makes them to play different games, that how they react while playing different games. And in that method, he just want to see that how the non-aggressive children react while they are playing with the aggressive ones, so that he can evaluate different factors that are responsible for aggression, and he can also check how different methods can be adopted to mitigate this issue. So there are also some theories that are relates with aggression in that case. So the first one is frustration aggression theory. This theory explains that aggression always generated due to the amount of levels of frustration that a person is facing at a certain time. As in this experiment, children are becoming frustrated when they aren't able to do their best in the game. That led to increase in their aggression level. The other theory is social learning theory. This theory explains that what a person learns or adopts from his social environment, as in this experiment, non-aggressive children also become aggressive after facing anger from the aggressive players. So the next thing is conclusion of the experimental study. A conclusion that he made is that children are really vulnerable and they adopt that thing that they are facing in their social environment, which basically means that if the parents or the group of children is really very aggressive, then the child will become more aggressive. And if the parents always support their child in a very calm way, which also helps the child to become less aggressive, and also generates a positive health environment for a child, because a child will not gonna feel more distress in that environment. So this is the conclusion of the experimental study. So now I'm going to talk about the non-experimental study, that why some children face aggression during sports. In that case, a research was been conducted by Professor Neil Wells in a non-experimental method, that why some children are aggressive while playing sports. Neil Neil Wells is really a well-known professor in University of Calgary, and he also performed various researches in the field of psychology. And about his education background, he completed his PhD in the field of psychology, and in these days he is serving as a professor in the University of Calgary. So in that research, he basically used some non-experimental methods, which I'm gonna talk about. So the non-experimental research and its methods. So first he made some research design. In that study, he relates the work of different experimenters that assist him to create a suitable hypothesis for his research, and he completed his research without controlling any variable, which means he do not uh, he do not revolve or include any of the children in his study, but he just make his study or just do his research on the basis of the data that was generated by the other scholars or individuals. And the next thing is he included his participant selection. In that research, he used several age groups of different children from the age of 11 to 18, and he also focused on various sports instead of focusing on a single one. And the third thing is data collection. He collected his data through various sources like questionnaires and surveys, through which he easily got the information and compared different age groups of children as how they react while playing or focusing on a single game. He also conducted some interviews with children, that how their attitude is and what is the best thing they like to do during sports or instead of sports. And he came to know that most of children like to play video games, which can also be the one of the most important factor of aggression, because while playing video games, children are become more stressed. They are feeling more stress, and by that way they are also becoming more lazy, which is also included in that study. The other thing is hypothesis. So the hypothesis that he generated was through his research was that the children that are aged between 12 to 14 are really very aggressive. It means that they are more aggressive as compared with the children who are in the age of of 17 or 18. The reason that he said was that because in the age of 10 to 14, the main motive of the children is just to win the game. They don't have much knowledge about that game, so their main motive always is just to win that game by any chance. But the children of 17 or 18 are less aggressive, as they are as they have more patience, and they also have some human values, and they also not get frustrated easily because they have some more etiquettes as compared with a small age group that is 12 to 14. The other thing is the conclusion of that study. The conclusion of non-experimental research is that he concludes that there is a need to teach children that how they can keep them calm during sports, and by that he also told some different methods, like children can do meditation during morning time, and they can also take the diet that is consist of all minerals and vitamins that can also make them feel more calm and more stress free. And he also talked about some different leadership skills that are really very necessary to teach to different children or students while playing the game, because a game is totally dependent upon the team leader. So this is the thing. And if I talk about the accuracy between experimental and non-experimental method during research, I, I generally think that experimental method is more accurate in providing information, as we are doing research by our own, and we also use several experimental methods then also promotes more accuracy. And if I compare non-experimental method, we do research after evolving or taking help of different researchers that were done by any other individuals. So we don't really know how those individuals completed or done their research. So I think experimental researches are more accurate as compared with the non-experimental ones. So in the last, I put some references. So if you guys want to have a look, you guys can check. So this is my assignment, and thank you.